Hi everybody, this is Lemuria Kamara, and I'm here to just share with you some wisdom bites, insights, downloads, and takeaways. Today is October 12th, and um, you know, I want to share with you a little bit of what's going on energetically between now and the end of the month, actually including November 1st and 2nd, because there's a couple of things going on November 1st and 2nd that's actually tied to October 31st. And the majority of what I want to talk about is October 31st because this has to do with my insights and wisdom bits that I want to share with you. But first of all, I just want to say to all of you, I hope that everybody's navigating these times, these turbulent times, with ease and flow as much as possible. This is a time period that we're all being challenged on multiple levels to step into our power. So if you are having a difficult time navigating these waters, you are probably exactly where you're supposed to be, because whatever is the difficulty that's standing, seemingly standing in your way is your greatest lesson. This is, where your transformation takes place. This is where your possibility for your greatest transformation is, and where whatever's showing up for you right now. That's what I want to say about that. Today is October 12th. Tomorrow, Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio. So that's a powerful day. And Mercury in Scorpio, Scorpio has to do with revealing things that are hidden, right? It's about transformation, but it's also about things that are hiding in the shadows. So I think, as we all know, that I'm just checking the date here. As we all know, there's a lot that's hiding in the shadow that is being pushed into the light on an individual level for each and every one of us, and collectively as humanity, right? As a human collective group. So we're seeing it here in the U.S. In our politics. We're seeing it in the social arena. We're seeing it in the arena of human interest and human rights. We're seeing all of this out of balance energy being pushed to the surface. So I'm saying that so that you just kind of reminding you, don't get too caught up in what's happening on the day-to-day national stage. Don't get too caught up, because this stuff is being pushed onto the surface of life for all of us to transmute it. So everything that's out of balance in our society is being pushed to the surface for us to see. It's all being revealed. It's all about what the cosmos has in store for us. That in order for us to move into the Aquarian age, we have to transmute all of this old Piscean energy that has been about oppression and control and manipulation. So what we're seeing now is all this low vibrational energy that has been held in this country for a long time, that needs to be pushed up so that it can be transmuted. So don't get too caught up in all of this, even though a lot of it can be quite shocking at times. allow yourself to experience the surprise and the shock of it all, and then move on back into your personal space and work on your own vibration. Work on keeping your vibration high. Work on birthing whatever it is that you came here to birth. Work on tapping into your ideal life plan. Work on yourself, work on keeping your vibration high, and whatever that takes, make that the most important thing that you hold dearest in your life. The end of this week, October 16th, is the new moon in Libra. So this is a powerful new moon. This is a time of birthing, of new beginnings. So this is the time to really set your intentions for the rest of this year, and certainly for maybe the next 6 months into manifestation. Set them, define them, and then set them free, right? Put them out there. Make clear what it is that you want and be prepared to release those intentions to the cosmos, where they can go out into the world and manifest. I say the next 6 months because the manifestation of some of the certain things that we set into creation may take 6 months to manifest, which would be the Libra full moon, which is around April 8th, 6 months from now. So that's the cycle. That's the cosmic cycle. So just plant your seeds, plant your intentions into the fertile ground of creation, and then go on about doing the things that you need to do to nurture those dreams. And then the end of this month, we have October 31st, Halloween. And this brings me to what I really want to talk about, the energy of Halloween. Now, Halloween, of course, as we all know, is a tradition that is practiced in this country. It's been practiced ever since I was a child, and I'm sure all of you, as well. I mean, this has been around for a long time. Halloween is a time where, of course, there's a lot of emphasis on ghosts and goblins and demons and monsters and all this dark energy. And Halloween is like a portal that opens up for all of the non-physical, dark, lower vibrational energies to just emerge and start, flooding the physical plane with all of this negative energy. And so the more we participate in this, the more we take our energy and we feed that energy. Now, a lot of people feel like, it's just a fun thing. It's not something that we should take that serious. But when you play around with that lower vibrational energy, that's where you're putting your energy, and that's where it manifests. Not only that, that's where, children are learning how to use their energy in that kind of way. And this can be very detrimental to children. A lot of times children have the ability to see, between the veils, right? So they see energies, and if they're taught to participate in these lower vibrational energies, then they get caught up in interactions with these kind of energies, and it's frightening for them. I've been around children who have frightening dreams, and see things, even in their conscious awaking life. They see things that terrify them. So when Halloween rolls around and we allow children to dress up like monsters and demons and ghosts and goblins and, you know, pumpkin head demons with long claws and all this stuff. And we adorn our lawns, our front yards with these, you know, these it was symbolism of these energies, and we dress up our windows with symbolism of these energies. We're inviting this into our homes, into, you know, around our homes. And, you know, this is just something that I think I want to offer you a broader perspective on, so that you start to really rethink how you use your energy around Halloween. Now, Halloween, just give you a little bit of background. It's raining here, so you might be able to hear the rainfall on my roof. I'm here in South Florida, and we're having a beautiful afternoon rain. But Halloween has its roots in ancient Celtic tradition called Samhain. And Samhain goes back like 2,000 years, maybe even longer. Ancient Celts, which of course are the ancient people of modern day Ireland, they believed that October 1st was the end of the year, the end of the summer and the end of the year. And it was a time to clean out everything. At the end of the year, clean out their all of the old that they didn't want to carry into the new year, which is a great thing, right? Clean it out and bring in and only maintain the things that you want to carry into the new year. So it was time of cleansing, and it was time for preparation for the new year. And then they would have this big celebration where they create this massive bonfire. And the bonfire had multiple purposes. It was for making offerings to the gods and the goddesses, because it was a matriarchal culture, which means that they honored the sacred feminine, the goddess. And they also believed in the balance between the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. So, you know, Christians would call it a pagan culture, but it predates Christianity. And so they would celebrate and honor the gods and goddesses by making offerings. They did do animal sacrifice. They believed that this was a way of sharing the harvest and the prosperity of the previous year with the gods and goddesses who made that all possible. And then they also had this tradition of dressing up in costume. And the whole costume had multiple significance. It was to honor the gods. To dress up in costume also had to do with honoring the dead. Part of their traditions was that they believed in the wheel of life, the cycle of life, and that, you know, the cycle of life, of birth and life and death and rebirth. And so when they celebrated the end of the year, they realized not everybody was present. You know, people had died, and children had been born. So they honored this cycle of life, which is beautiful. All ancient cultures honor this cycle of life. But they also realized that it was October 31st was when the veil between the spirit world and the physical world is at its thinnest. And so that was when those souls who were caught between the realms, who had died but had not moved on to another incarnation, that those souls could be set free during that time. So they also recognized that, you know, there were benevolent souls and there were malevolent souls. And you know, those malevolent souls, they didn't necessarily want to set free. You know, they wanted to set free their loved ones who were those people that, you know, they cared about and wanted to see them move from the underworld, so to speak, into their next physical incarnation. That's what they believed. So, long story short, they would dress up in costume also to avoid the malevolent spirits that might have been released during this thinning of the veils. And those malevolent spirits could cause a lot of problems by, hiding livestock and destroying crops, which they heavily relied on for life, right? And creating a lot of trickery. So they would dress in costume to escape the trickery of these malevolent beings, so they wouldn't recognize them. So we can kind of see, how this ancient tradition of dressing up in costume and trying to avoid any kind of negative interaction with these malevolent spirits who might be out roaming around on October 31st when the veil is thin and the underworld sort of opens up and all of these spirits start, being released, not to, to try to protect themselves from having interactions from malevolent spirits. And so they would honor the gods and the goddesses also for protection from these malevolent spirits, and to ask for favor in the coming year so that their year would be good, so that it would be blessed, so that they would have a good harvest, and the animals would be healthy, and the winter would not be maybe as severe and harsh in the months to come. So how we look at Halloween is very different from the beginnings of this tradition. And over time, it has morphed into this trick-or-treat kind of obsession, where it becomes more like the malevolent spirits who represent the trickery, and the destructive behavior have become what is celebrated in the United States. Now, the word hallow, interesting enough, means sacred, blessed, holy, consecrated, revered, and it's even in the Lord's Prayer, hallowed be thy name. So how did we go from something that's sacred and revered and blessed and sanctified and holy to something that is obsessively demonic and full of lower vibrational entities, that we allow our children to dress up as and parade around, and we allow ourselves to surround ourselves with those energies. We, decorate our surroundings with those energies. How did we get from something that's sacred to something that's totally the opposite, that's unsacred? And a lot of times, people never think about this. That's why I'm here to make this commentary for all of you, so that you can think before you allow your children to participate in something that is energetically, energetically and psychically and spiritually harmful, especially to the children who know nothing, right? Who know not what they're doing. They don't know. But then they know that when they're exposed to these dark energies, they hunt them in their sleep. They have dreams. They see them maybe even in their daily life. And there's plenty of these influences in film and entertainment. So the other thing that I want to talk about is November 1st, November 2nd. So November 1st and 2nd is connected to All Saints Day and Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, which is primarily a Mexican holiday of honoring the dead. Now, these two traditions are really, I think, worth celebrating, because we all have someone that is not here today. We all have someone who didn't make it through this year. From October of last year to this day, to right now, or whatever date you're watching this video, you and I know someone who's not here, who maybe was here last year. For me, it was my mother. My mother transitioned in December of last year, 2020. You know, we all have someone, maybe, you know, a father who's not here, maybe, you know, a sibling who's not here, or a favorite aunt or uncle, or, you know, a godparent, or a child. You know, we all, grandparents who are not here. And we all have people that transitioned even, you know, in the past several years during our lifetime. We all have people that we can honor during these 2 days that we can make sacred and holy and celebratory, you know? So why not use these days to honor our ancestors? All Ancestors Day. Let's honor the ancestors. Why not go take your children to the cemetery? I love the Mexican tradition where people dress up, you know, and they dress up like skeletons, which is cool, because that is, you know, when people leave their bodies, the bodies return to earth, right? It returns to the bones, you know, and that's just life. So dressing up like a skeleton is embracing the cycle of life and death and rebirth, that wheel of life that has been going on for, you know, for millennia, right? For hundreds of thousands of years. So why not paint our faces beautiful, vibrant colors and celebrate Dios de los Muertos, celebrate Ancestors Day, celebrate All Saints Day. Teach our children to honor the ancestors. Why not go to the cemetery, scrub down the headstones, put some fresh flowers out for our ancestors? What is it that they liked, you know? Make offerings of libations, their favorite foods, you know? Bring your guitars and your drums and your tambourines and sit around and sing songs, play music, and tell stories, and share that time with the ancestors, because they are in the spirit world and they are worth celebrating on these days when the veil is thin and the spirit world and the physical world converge. Why not embrace those people, those spirits of those ones that we love, instead of ghosts and goblins and these entities that we have really no connection with? Let's be more purposeful in how we use our energy, and teach our children how to use their energy when we interact with the spirit world. And let's not play with energies that we don't know anything about. Let's not play with energies that are dark and hiding in the shadows, that are malevolent energies. Let's not play with that stuff. And let's not teach our children to play with that. Let's embrace the beauty of life and death and rebirth. And let's teach our children about these sacred cycles. This is what is truly holy, and this is what is truly sacred, and this is what we should truly be revering. These are the cycles of life. These are the divine cosmic cycles that go on and on, as long as we're in embodiment. So that's pretty much what I want to share with you. I hope that you got some wisdom bits out of this, and I totally invite any questions or comments that you have. You definitely post them. I'd like to get any kind of exchange going on. I'll respond to any comments that you address to me. I'd be more than happy to do that. Everybody just be respectful. That's all I ask, in your questions and your comments back and forth. And so that's pretty much it, folks. I just want to remind you that, yes, we're living in a time that there's a lot of trick or treat going on, right? Be careful about this, right? This is chicanery. This is deception, trickery. We see it in politics. We see it in business. We see a lot of negative energy being pushed up out of the shadows into the light for all of us to be able to see. We see a lot of hatred. A lot of this racism is just lower vibrational hatred that people are holding on to, because the root of it is self-hatred. Trust me, the root of it is self-hatred. It's like when you hate people because of our beautiful brown and black skin, because of our beautiful Black and indigenous features, our complexions, our hair textures, and who we are. You hate us for that. This is just self-hatred. This is just because people look in the mirror and they don't like what they see, so they direct their energy to other people instead of just dealing with their own feelings of inadequacy. They're just not there. They're not able to deal with their inadequacies. They haven't evolved to that level of consciousness. So don't give it a lot of attention, because you can't do anything for them. They have to do it for themselves. And you can't change the reality of where they are. They're on a different timeline than you and I. So the important thing is to keep our vibration high so that we don't have to converge with their timelines in any kind of way, right? We don't want to have any interaction with them whatsoever. The way that we can possibly interact with them is by becoming a vibrational match in some kind of way. And I'm not going to get into the complexities of how things happen, because it's too deep. But my advice is for us all to keep our vibration high and don't get caught up into what's happening in the moment, because we're creating change and transformation. None of us could have seen where we are right now a year ago. None of us could have seen where we are. We can all look back at different times in our lives and say, wow, a year before that or 2 years before, I couldn't have seen that coming. And it's the same thing now. We cannot see where we'll be this time next year. But I guarantee you that by doing the work, the self-transformational work, it will be a very rewarding and amazing place to be. So don't get caught up in all the negativity that's going on. This is a process that the cosmos is demanding that we go through. And at the same time, we have to transmute our own negative karma, right? We got to get that stuff out of the way so that we can get to the good stuff. And the good stuff is there. That's the good news. The good stuff is there. We're moving into the age of Aquarius, folks. You know, December 21st, Saturn and Jupiter, these giants, these powerful influencers, cosmic influencers, are moving simultaneously into Aquarius. We are moving. We will be stepping into the age of Aquarius. We're on the cusp. We're on like the last of it. And yes, we still have a lot of work to do, but that energy, that Aquarian energy, that innovation and that awakening energy is going to be available on a scale and a level that we've never ever been experienced before. The access to just amazing energy is going to be there for us. So, you know, we have so much to look forward to. Don't get caught up into the negativity. Create intentionally magnificence. Focus on your magnificence. Focus on living your best life. And focus on getting the help and the assistance in any way that you can. And if you need to reach out to me, I'm available. I'm here for you in any way that I can to inspire you and to motivate you. So peace and love, everybody. I love you all. You are all multidimensional masters of creation and manifestation. So step into your power, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace and love.